All right, I just watched the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury roundtable, and as you can see, it's just BT Sports version of Face Off or The Gloves Are Off. Same format. It was actually quite interesting, I thought it would just be two guys talking trash with nothing really to read into it, but it was actually pretty interesting. The psychological dynamic that was going on here. At the start, they were both very cordial and friendly. But what I noticed is that Deontay Wilder started trying to stare Tyson Fury down. That's what he started doing. He was trying to stare him down and he was trying to intimidate him. That's what it looked like to me. Now, this could be because Tyson Fury had tried to intimidate Wilder previously. I don't know. But all I do know is that this stare down, Tyson Fury was being cordial, respectful. Wilder was being the same, but Wilder was trying to stare through Tyson Fury. And then Tyson Fury started poking Deontay Wilder a little bit verbally because of the fact this guy's staring at him. Tyson Fury is an alpha male. So if you try to come at him with them intimidating tactics, well, he's going to push back. So he started verbally jabbing Deontay Wilder. He hadn't hit him with a right hand yet. But the one thing which sent him into full fury mode, where he started really going in on Deontay Wilder verbally and just shredding him, was when they started talking about religion. Because Tyson Fury identifies himself as a Christian, Deontay Wilder was talking about having an alter ego within him, and he was also talking about spirits maybe of his ancestors that he summons for fights. And this kind of enraged Tyson Fury. And he was like, look, I don't need none of that. I work with God Almighty and I don't need to work with no spirits or none of that other stuff. And he was basically saying, I thought you were like me, Deontay Wilder. I thought you were a Christian man. I thought that's where you were coming from spiritually. But it seems like you're not. And the most interesting part to me was when Tyson Fury said, I've seen you before. I saw you in Germany. It's as if Tyson Fury thinks he's talking to the devil. like some people are going to think that's a bit deep, but go watch it for yourselves and see what you think. That seemed to be what Tyson Fury was implying. Yeah, because in Germany, he fought Vladimir Klitschko. He didn't fight Fury. He didn't fight Wilder. So it seemed as though he thinks he's dealing with the devil in a different guise, and he took care of him once and he's going to take care of him again. Now, I'm not here to tell you it's true or it's not true or anything like that. What I am here to tell you is that's what Tyson Fury seems to believe in his head. And again, whether it's true or not is really irrelevant. It's just interesting, or irrelevant to me anyway. It's just interesting the approach that Tyson Fury takes psychologically. Very interesting. And as I say, from that point, Tyson Fury was enraged and he just shredded Deontay Wilder. Once he realized that him and Wilder were not on the same page, I guess, in terms of their spiritual outlook, he seemed to lose all respect for the man. And it wasn't just the whole spiritual outlook thing. It was the fact that Deontay Wilder sat there trying to stare through him, and Tyson Fury didn't like that. So, yeah, perhaps this is what sparked Tyson Fury to do what he did at the media events during their worldwide press tour. Maybe that's why he came out so harsh against Deontay Wilder. Interesting psychological dynamic going on here. And as far as Deontay Wilder, Jarrell Miller has spoken on this. He's spoken on the fact that Deontay tries to put on a persona. And he really does. Look, Deontay is a very good fighter, a very dangerous man for any heavyweight in the world. But whenever you see him in interviews, he is trying so hard to come across as intimidating a lot of the time. He's trying hard. He does this thing where he starts whispering. He's like, yeah, man, I'm so sincere. I'm going to knock you. It's like, what's that all about? Man thinks he's Steven Seagal or something with all the whispering. What are you whispering for? So he goes into this act where he tries to act so intimidating and so passionate, and he tries to get the other person to be intimidated by his words and intimidated by his passion. And not just the person who he's fighting, but even the people sitting around him. And Jarrell Miller says that this stuff is relatively new from Deontay Wilder. That when he knew Wilder, when Wilder was just a good old boy from Alabama, he wasn't acting like this. But after he got a bit of money, then his behavior started changing. That's what Jarrell Miller's claiming. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I do certainly see how Deontay Wilder acts a lot. He tries to put on this bronze bomber, bad man persona, and maybe he just does it to sell a fight. Maybe it's his way of psyching himself up. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, it's not going to work on Tyson Fury. That's one thing I can tell you. If he's hoping to stare through Tyson Fury and intimidate him with all this, it's definitely not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. Tyson Fury is a fighting man. He's looked into the eyes of many fighting men before. He's been in the lion's den before, in hostile territory, when he was an underdog against Vladimir Klitschko, a guy who was much more experienced than Deontay Wilder, much more technically sound, and he wasn't intimidated in the slightest. So nothing Deontay Wilder can say or do is going to intimidate Tyson Fury. I'm 100% sure of that. All right. Before the fight anyway. If he hits Tyson Fury with some crazy bomb early in the fight and drops him, then he might intimidate him with that. But, or even if he just hits him with a shot on the arm or the chest or something and it's harder than anything Tyson Fury's ever felt before, maybe he could intimidate him, possibly. I'm not saying he will. I'm saying that's a possible scenario, right? But in terms of anything Deontay Wilder can do or say before the fight, no. Nothing is going to intimidate Tyson Fury. So if Wilder's doing it, hoping to do that, he's wasting his time. If he's doing it just to sell tickets and build up his brand, go for it. And another one of the things that incensed Tyson Fury in this face-off was when Deontay Wilder was talking about the environment he's from. Saying, oh, you don't understand the environment I'm from. It's nothing like in this country. It's nothing like over here. You don't have it as tough as we have it, and, all this kind of business. And Tyson Fury was like, I don't care about none of that. I didn't have a hard upbringing. I grew up and we had a Mercedes or whatever it was, BMW, Mercedes. I didn't want for nothing. I had a good upbringing. It's got nothing to do with what's going to take place in the ring. And this is what I said in a video several weeks ago, where I talked about people getting caught up in where you're from and it not really having any relevance to your fighting ability, no relation to your fighting ability. You can be from the roughest ghetto where there's 1,000 shootings a year and people are out selling drugs 24/7. That don't mean you're a good fist fighter. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I said this in a video a long time ago because I grew up in an environment, particularly back in the 1990s, when it was a very rough neighborhood that I grew up in, with loads of crime and shooting, and crack cocaine was an epidemic at the time. That's the environment I grew up in. But so many of the toughest guys on the street who were tough, like gangsters, these people couldn't fight. Even the ones who thought they could fight couldn't really fight. You understand what I'm telling you? There were certain, let me not say none of them could fight, because there was obviously some who could fight. But what I'm saying is, in general, most of the baddest bad guys in the environment I grew up in, these were not the best fist fighters in South London. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Not at all. If you put them in, there was several incidents, right, which I either knew about or witnessed, where some of the top guys, a few of the top guys from my neighborhood, and these were top street guys, came into a boxing gym and attempted to spar, thinking that they would be tough. And, so deluded, some of these guys, because they think they're big guys on the road. They can just do anything. Come into the gym, attempted to spar, and got absolutely pulverized by some amateur in the gym when they were sparring. Okay, I've seen that many times in my life. And the guy they got pulverized by was not a street guy. He was a guy at uni who just happened to know how to box. All right. So all that street stuff is all cool and it's all fly and it sounds good. But when you get in the ring, you ain't got your crew with you. You ain't got your gun with you. You ain't got none of that. You just got your 2 fists with a pair of gloves on, a referee and 3 judges. That's what you got. So all that street stuff is irrelevant. There are so many guys from the streets who are boxers that have got a lot of punk in them. There are also guys from the streets who are boxers that have got massive hearts too. But the point I'm making is, just because you're from a rough environment, that don't mean that you're going to be the bravest fighter. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And the other way is also true. Just because you had a nice upbringing, it don't mean you ain't going to have no heart. As I've said before in the video I did, Muhammad Ali was from a middle class neighborhood. Muhammad Ali didn't grow up in the ghetto. Muhammad Ali didn't have a hard upbringing as far as living in poverty. Obviously, he lived in a very racist time, but he wasn't impoverished growing up, Ali, at all. He grew up with both parents, middle class family. He was all right, but yet look at the heart that he had in the ring. He had just as much heart as a lot of his opponents who did grow up in very rough conditions. Marco Antonio Barrera, another guy from a middle class family, studying to be a lawyer, became a boxer, and he had loads of heart. So that is something that incensed Tyson Fury when Deontay Wilder was coming out of all that stuff, the environment I'm from and all this type of business. And that's another thing as well when it comes to environment, because you can be from a tough environment, but that don't mean you yourself have been involved in all the madness that goes on in those environments. There are plenty of people who grew up in my neighborhood who were not tough at all, who never did anything. They were never known for doing any crime or anything like that, but they came from the same environment that I came from. So they could go around saying, oh, I'm from this tough environment. They could go to some other neighborhood or some other town and say, oh, I'm from this tough neighborhood and blah, blah, blah. But they weren't involved in none of that street stuff. You understand what I'm telling you? So it's irrelevant at the end of the day. But that's what I got from this face-off anyway between Wilder and Fury. Very interesting, analyzing them psychologically. And there was a lot to analyze, to be honest. There was a lot to analyze here. So yeah, pretty interesting. One of the more interesting face-offs. I'm saying interesting way too much right now, but one of the more interesting face-offs that I've seen for a while. So check it out if you haven't seen it. I'll leave a link in the description below. All right. Let me know how you feel, people. It's Simon, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.